The Story of Zacchaeus, written by Joyce Davidson, illustrated by Victoria Marshall. A little girl named Alice had a playhouse in a tree. She'd often be there reading with a book propped on her knee. She had a Bible picture book with stories told in rhyme, and Alice loved to read it when she had some extra time. One day she read about a man who was very, very small, and how he cheated everyone and wasn't liked at all. And as she read her story, the airmail bird stopped by. He dropped this special message, then he flew off to the sky. Reading is the magic key to take you where you want to be. The book she held became a screen. The screen grew tall and wide, and Alice took a little walk to Bible land inside. Alice went far back in time, and much to her surprise, the story of the little man came to life before her eyes. This man was named Zacchaeus. He lived in Jericho. He counted lots of money, making piles all in a row. He was very, very rich and wore the finest things, handsome robes with golden threads and jewelry and rings. He went around collecting tax from people in the town, and when he did, they'd greet him with a most unfriendly frown. For Zacchaeus was not honest. He took more than he should, and he became quite wealthy, cheating everyone he could. The people there in Jericho stood in the road one day. They wanted to see Jesus, who was coming by their way. Zacchaeus heard the people say how Jesus loved the poor, and how God would reward them for the hardships they endure. Though this upset Zacchaeus, who was a wealthy man, he decided he'd see Jesus too and hear about God's plan. The crowd kept growing bigger, but Zacchaeus was so small he couldn't find a place to stand where he could see it all. He thought, I see a sycamore. I'll climb up in that tree. Then I can look at Jesus, but he won't see me. Zacchaeus climbed up in the tree. The road was right below. The big leaves covered him so well, he almost didn't show. Then the crowd became excited, for coming into view were Jesus and his followers and his disciples too. The crowd was milling all around when quite suddenly Zacchaeus saw that Jesus had stopped beneath his tree. Then Jesus said, Zacchaeus, if you would please come down, I'll spend some time with you at home while visiting your town. The crowd was quite astonished and very puzzled too, for visiting a thief seemed a strange thing to do. Zacchaeus too was puzzled as he climbed down from the tree, but he said to Jesus, I'd be pleased if you would dine with me. Zacchaeus was quite worried and thought, I know for sure, when Jesus comes, he'll know I've cheated and stolen from the poor. Then he felt so awful that he took more than he should. He told Jesus he was sorry and he'd pay back all he could. I'll pay 4 times the money that I have taken in and give the poor 1/2 my wealth to help correct my sin. Jesus was so happy. Zacchaeus had changed, it's true. He said, God forgives and welcomes you to serve his kingdom too. The time had come for Alice to leave that Bible scene. She came back to her treehouse, by walking through her screen. I learned a lot, thought Alice as she climbed down from the tree. I learned God's like a father who wants the best for me. And even when I act real bad, God will love me still. He's ready to forgive me when I have learned His will. He's always there to help us change and leave our selfish ways, to truly seek forgiveness and follow Him every day. When He comes into our lives, we are renewed once more and feel more joy and gladness than we ever felt before. The end. Thank you for listening.